Unacademy. Let's crack it.
So hi everyone, welcome to Unacademy और my name is Nidhi. मेरे साथ एक और UPSC के selected candidate हैं जिनका नाम है निखिल महाजन. आज उनसे बातचीत करते हैं, उनकी जर्नी क्या रही, क्या चीजें थी जिनसे वो इंस्पायर हुए, उन्होंने इंस्पिरेशन ली, या वो क्या कारण था जिसने उनको मोटिवेट किया टू कम फॉर UPSC, और फाइनली ही इज डन इट, ही इज प्रूव्ड हिज मेटल. सो ओवर टू यू निखिल, प्लीज इंट्रोड्यूस कीजिए अपने आप को.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm Nikhil Mahajan, born and brought up in Punjab. Did my graduation from IIT Delhi, and finally cracked the examination in my sixth and last attempt with the rank of 80, for which I'm eternally grateful to God and all the blessings that I've had from my family.
So, as you've told us कि छठा अटेम्प्ट था आपका, आखिरी अटेम्प्ट था, और प्रेशर बहुत रहा होगा निखिल. पूरे मतलब the 5 attempts, what were the condition like? पहले आप प्री निकाल पाए, मेंस गया, इंटरव्यू आपने कितने अटेम्प्ट किए? Can you just please briefly tell us about that?
Right. So I've given 6 attempts, 4 times mains and 2 times interview. Right? And this was
your
like,
last attempt.
This was my last attempt and last interview. So it was an up and down journey. My previous interviews was in my third attempt. Then in my fourth attempt, I failed at mains. In my fifth attempt, I could not qualify prelims itself. So my graph was somewhat like this, and then final.
Then finally you got selected, but the all's well that ends well. Finally you are there. You've achieved a rank. You please tell your rank also, Nikhil.
Yes, I was lucky to get rank 80 in this year's examination.
IAS cadre, you'll be getting IAS.
IAS or IFS. So I'll be
okay. So your preference was IAS or IFS, matlab.
Yes. So I believe there's 73 seats in IAS. So yeah. I may not get IAS, may get foreign service, which is amazing. I'll be very grateful.
Yeah, that's again, yes, the dream, I would say. If not IAS, IFS is a dream. So, ऐसा क्या था? Did you start your preparation at a very, very early age? What were the mistakes you made in the previous attempts? Because definitely, as you've said, that you're grateful that you made it to the list in your final attempt. So there have been a lot of pressure. और गलतियां क्या की, उन गलतियों से क्या सीखा, कैसे, जैसे आपने ग्राफ बताया कि ऊपर गया and then there was an attempt जहाँ पे आपने prelims भी नहीं क्रैक किया. How did you handle the pressure? Because there are a lot of aspirants out there जो बहुत apprehensive होते हैं, जिनको बहुत डर होता है कि होगा कि नहीं होगा, कितने साल हम वेट करें. Like I think if this was your sixth attempt, last attempt, it has been a long journey of 7-8 years, if I'm not wrong. So what kept you motivated and still there?
Right. So first, about what kept me motivated, right? I just wanted it too much, I guess. My family, my father especially. I lost my mother when I was 8 years old. You see both of them just after the marriage.
Yeah, I can see that picture.
And,
yeah.
Yes, and it was their shared dream to see their son in the services. And so that was something that I always held on to. So that was the strongest motivator. And that was definitely the case that I could have probably pursued something better, something, earned good money. I was from IIT Delhi, good packages and stuff. But there's this shared by Faiz Ahmed Faiz that I would go back to often. It says, अगर बाजी इश्क की बाजी हो, जो चाहे लगा दो डर कैसा. अगर बाजी इश्क की बाजी हो, जो चाहे लगा दो डर कैसा. अगर जीत गए तो क्या कहने, हारे भी तो बाजी मात है. The pursuit of something that you love. If you win in that, that's great. But even if you lose, that's really not a loss. The greatest love stories in the world are all tragedies. But still we like them because the idea of pursuing something that you love, not being able to do that would have been a much bigger regret than investing those years into this. At least I had the satisfaction
giving it your 100%, basically.
Absolutely.
Giving it all, whether you win or you lose, but giving it all your heart. And one thing that I really liked about this, the entire motivation thing that you told about, is the goal that you attach with the aspirations, with the dream of your parents. You attach that goal with those dreams that was there. You lost your mother at an early age, and still you had that, I have to do it for my parents. I think that is the biggest motivation. That is something which it is self-motivation, I would say, कि जो मतलब कुछ नहीं चाहिए इसके बाद हमें ना. This is what we also at Unacademy, tell us learners. You have to attach something to your goal. You have to think that one thing. There has to be just one thing that makes you believe in that goal and, makes you work towards that goal with full heart and, full dedication and full focus.
Right.
All right, that was about the motivation. A very repetitive, a very, I would say, universal question that comes across when somebody cracks the exam. What was your strategy?
Right. So I tried different things, in different years, many attempts. Finally, I realized like I'm not able to crack GS and SA in the mains examination. Prelims, it's a little dicey. I missed out on my prelims by 0.33 marks in my fifth attempt. I mean, like, what do you do about that? So GS and SA was not working for me. I was giving my best, but not able to get the results. So I focused on my optional, which is mathematics, and luckily scored very good marks there. And in interview, I was also very lucky to score good marks. So those things came together, my optional and my interview, which pulled me through. Otherwise, my GS and SA scores are frankly below average this year as well.
All right. So basically, you're trying to say that optional is one key factor that can be a deciding factor ultimately if GS is not working out for you. Because yes, we come across a lot of candidates who come and say, okay, this is my weak area.
Right.
Instead of focusing on those weak areas again and again and not getting up to the mark on those areas, it's better to work on your strengths. And I think wahan pe jitna zyada hum kheech sake, optional yes is one of the most important. This is what again is said always, that GS is going to be sabka acha ya sabka bura, because paper is going to be somewhere similar to everybody. Toughness ka level laga lo, ya easy hai ya tough hai, the marking and everything is going to be at par in general. But optional can be your subject which can actually decide your rank, I would say, decide whether you are there in the list or not. So that worked for you. That's very great. So again, a very repetitive question. What was your book list, or what you, like 7-8 years consistency that you've had? Usme aapne, did you try various, book list या sources? या फिर you stick to single source, or you relied on sources that you had in the beginning? What was it?
So in the beginning, my choices were not very good. I was reading everything and anything under the sun, which was why I failed the first couple of times. I was reading out of interest. I just generally liked reading history and stuff like that. I was like, all right, let's go with it. But that's a very bad strategy for attempting an examination. Later on, I was pretty focused, yes. In fact, on Unacademy, I remember doing I'm sorry, Nidhi Maharaj, right? She was an IAS
Nidhi Maharaj, all right.
A few years ago, and she made a course on world history on the Unacademy platform. So I benefited from that course because I was like weak in that area. She explained things very well, and then other sources as well. But I was pretty focused at one source for one topic, make some notes, and then that is it. That is done. So not chasing after resources once I know that I am familiar with the term mentioned in the syllabus. Also because GS was not my priority. Right? So the only idea was to complete syllabus.
So you confine yourself to relatively fewer sources, or focused onto single sources, not multiplying.
Make notes and then just be confident with those.
Okay. All right. So what would you like to suggest the new aspirants who are still there in your first year, second year of college, graduation? Achha, before that, when did you start your preparation? Was it after your college you decided, or during the graduation? When was it that it clicked you that now is the time I have to start my preparation for UPSC?
Towards the end of college, I did not sit for placements in college. So that was the idea. And I did not immediately attempt the examination like after graduating. I graduated in 2015. So I attempted, my first attempt was in 2016. So I took that 1 year to actually do good preparation before I attempted the exam.
Okay, so basically you had a plan and you worked on that plan. Yeah. Sometimes, yes, failures do come. Aapka hua, up and down bhi hua, nahi ho paya, interview bhi face kiya. But finally, I said in the beginning also, all's well that ends well. Okay, now somebody who's in the final year of graduation, or somebody who's, just stepped out of the college, what are your suggestions to those people who wanted to pursue civil services and still apprehensive about the vast syllabus, or there are a lot of questions regarding the optional subject also? What would you like to suggest those people? Now, how to go about the syllabus, which is humongous for UPSC?
So I think test series are your best friend. It's very easy to get lost in the syllabus. You know, every news item is interesting and can be tangentially related to some item.
Which happened to you in the beginning.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was a quizzer in college and school. So there's a natural curiosity that quizzers have to search and Wikipedia everything, which is a bad way to approach the examination. So don't do that. Just focus on the test series that are coming in, previous year questions. Focus on getting those right, like being adequately comfortable with the things that are being asked, you know, consistently. If you look at the mains question papers, then they revolve around similar areas. So just focus on that. And then optional, like at least this worked for me, and choosing an optional that you're comfortable with, that you can hope to become confident in, you know. You look at the syllabus and you're like, man, like I get the sense of what they're talking about, which was the case with me in mathematics. I got the sense like what maths is all about. So, and also you have to spend a lot of time with your optional. So choose an optional that does not give you, that does not make you want to go to sleep, you know. It should be something that you find interesting. So those are the two areas. Thirdly, also, like, be a little smart about it. Do not choose an optional which does not have adequate coaching material available. Because again, in optional, it is very easy to get lost in the weeds of it. So keep previous questions.
You get lost in the fact that, okay, this is a scoring option, you go for this. Whether it's like your interest areas are there or not, you just get attracted to certain option ki, "Arey, to bahut hi scoring hai, let's get into this, or yahan pe to score aa jayega." But then you don't realize majorly ki, is it your interest area or not? You have to identify the interest also attached to it, I suppose.
Right. It has to be scoring for you.
Scoring too, all right. That is one thing that has come across. Okay, it has to be scoring, guys. It's not just the interest that score also matters.
But it has to be scoring for you. Like it's scoring in general, that does not matter.
Yeah, for them.
There are people who take mathematics who are not able to like get the invest sufficient time or get the adequate results from that time invested. So even though it's a very scoring optional, I got great marks. I'm very grateful for that. But not everyone would be able to do that. I had a background, so I was able to do that. So it was scoring for me. Anthropology would not have been scoring for me, even though it is scoring for some people. That's it.
So basically, it has to be your strengths you have to identify. I think if we can just narrow down your strategy and your, you know, everything, I will say that you actually worked on your strengths.
Absolutely.
After, instead of running on to the weaknesses and trying to work on those, majorly you worked on your strengths, which were your core areas, your strength areas, and that is what has fetched you the result, I suppose. Last but not the least, interview. How did you prepare for the interview? And current affairs, yes, that is also one of the questions that is repetitively asked by the learners also, and everybody wants to know कि भाई ये जो select होते हैं, current affair कहाँ से पढ़ते हैं? So what was your like take on current affairs? How did you prepare current affairs?
So honestly, Nidhi, like I did not get a great score, right? So I'm a bad person to guide aspirants. Like talk to people, like they should listen to people who got much better scores in general studies, and they would be better guides. I had my own way, but I would not want to confuse aspirants, you know, because it didn't work ultimately. My score is 375.
Achha, you okay? You're not satisfied with what? All right, all right. Majorly, it comes across कि ठीक है, Hindu पढ़ लो, Indian Express पढ़ लो, notes बना लो. अब वो notes बना तो लो, वो इतना compilation हो जाता है over the year or 1.5 year, कि उसका revision नहीं हो पाता.
Right.
On that note, what is your take on revision? How many times you need to revise the content, and what is the benefit of revision again? How did it benefit you?
So it's absolutely crucial. If you look at the time limit, you know, both in prelims and in mains, in fact, also in interview, like you have to be very, very quick with facts. You just do not have the time to think. So having those facts on tips is only possible once you've done sufficient revision. And even in revision, there are a few different methods. One is like reading your notes again and again. Secondly, there's something called active recall, where you see a certain topic and then you try to recall all the information that you know about the topic. So you're trying to mimic sort of the examination environment where you would have a question, you're trying to recall everything. So I use this app called Anki, in which I made flashcards, ANKI. And those flashcards, so what happens is all my notes basically think about pages of your notebook, right? So each page was basically one flashcard. So a topic may be India-US relations, India-Russia relations, solid-waste management. So that was one flashcard. And then in Anki, I could schedule my revisions. So I could say, all right, ask me this question after 1 day, after 7 days, after 14 days. And if I don't know it, ask me again after 1 day. And if I know it, ask me after 14 days, 21 days. So I just relied on that app to sort out my revision schedule, because I realized in my previous attempts, like that just builds up, you know, the stress of revision and choosing between revision and reading new stuff, that builds up. So
new content that you have to study and the revision of the old that you've already done.
Absolutely.
So what I personally have, you know, derived this one formula of RRR with the movie RRR. It's read, retain, revise, and retain.
Absolutely. Right.
This is how
Absolutely.
it works. Matlab, you have to have a balance of all the three.
Right.
And
true.
okay, before we move on to interview, one more thing I want to know about is the importance of mock test for you, the practice or the questions that you attempted. How did it help you build your confidence, and how was it like? What did you feel when you attempted the questions and you went for mock tests and then you might not have scored good marks? How did you make yourself, you boost your energy and you say, okay, it's fine. It's okay. I'll cover up.
Right.
What was the strategy after the mocks? And
Right,
for
so
the
mock
mocks,
tests,
of course.
Right. So mock tests are very useful, in terms of benchmarking yourself against other candidates. Especially now most of us are using online platforms for studying. So it's difficult to find a peer group in which you can assess like how you are actually moving forward. And mock tests provide you the opportunity to do that. Regarding overcoming failure in mock tests, there's this idea, the more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in war.
Oh.
So just be grateful that you are like performing poorly and you are finding your mistakes and hopefully improving upon it. So
identifying your mistakes.
Yes. And if that is happening, if you are moving forward, so then you will continue to move forward, and which is the greatest confidence that there can be, that you are on an upward slope, right? And there's nothing like it.
Okay, you actually, ek bar kam to ek bar zyada to the graph has to move upwards. So roughly, what was the number of mocks that you attempted before this exam? Right. Prelims and mains both, if you can talk.
So in my last attempt, I will talk about that. In prelims, I attempted around 40, 45 mocks, probably.
Oh.
Not like in examination conditions, I would see a question, think about what I would attempt, and then I would see the answer, because I wanted to build my intuition about, because there's a lot of guesswork involved. You want to be comfortable with that and building your intuition. So that was the process.
Guesswork, elimination.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And in mains, I attempted in the last year around 15 mocks. Not many, because again, like GS was not my focus. I was like GS average.
So that has been a very clear, this thing coming from you. GS was not my forte. I worked hard on my option, and GS was like a maintain to.
There was one attempt in which I tried to focus on GS, and my maths got screwed.
Oh.
Now, so maths is one thing that only got screwed when I did not focus on. And GS,
yes. Practice.
I was like, maths is maths ne mujhe dhoka nahi diyega, so main isko dhoka nahi dunga.
This is something which, yes, either it's right or wrong. Maths is that, it's very great. Okay, last question, that because I know you must be in a hurry and you must be having a lot of interview scheduled. Last question regarding the interview. What was your strategy for the interview? How did you prepare yourself for the interview, and how did you, prepare for the environment? Basically, it's not actually test of your knowledge. It's about how much pressure you can handle and how you can take up the things that come across.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in interview, I was lucky to have like proper 2 months. My interview was on 23rd May, which was like the last week of interviews. So I had a lot of time. I attempted around maybe 35 plus mock interviews, and all but one online, because I attended one offline mock interview in the beginning, and I was told that my posture is good, my entry and exit is good, and I did not really feel the pressure of being in front of them. My issue was like actually being able to frame the answers in a concise and precise manner. So that just required me to talk adequately, like framing my concepts in a clear manner. So I attempted 35 mocks, got in the habit of speaking about myself, about issues, and reading newspapers regularly. And that was about it. Yeah. Ultimately, interview is a bit of a gamble. You do not know what board you get, what kind of questions.
Board. But and then the day, is it your favorite day or your favorable day or not? That of course, that are the attached things with UPSC, I would say. So it was great talking to you, Nikhil, and it was a great, the insights that you gave. You did not let yourself quit. There are a lot of times when you are not able to do it, like 8 years. I would say, guys, we just don't say that this exam needs perseverance. This exam needs determination. You just cannot quit. You just can't quit. Quitting is not an option. If you want, you have to stay there and do it. And Nikhil is one example who made it to the final list. Though it was his last attempt, yes, fingers crossed again, because you made it now. You're grateful that it just happened. And congratulations again, and to your family. And that gesture of yours, putting the parents' picture, is like remarkable. Beautiful picture. God bless you. and just stay
Thank you.
safe. Thank you so much. Do good for the country.
I definitely
Great.
hope to
Thank
make
you
it
so
forward in the
much.
country.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.